Good afternoon and welcome to the Surrey Sports Park Wednesday afternoon basketball once again. And boy, do we have a game for you this afternoon. Leicester Riders and the Sevenoaks Suns, the two remaining teams that can win this WBBL Championship. They'll go head-to-head today before meeting up in Leicester on Sunday. And I'd like to welcome you to the Surrey Sports Park for this game. Sevenoaks still unbeaten in the league and now just need to win 2 of their final 3 games to clinch the title. However, Leicester Riders also control their own destiny. Win today and on Sunday against the Sevenoaks Suns and they will walk away with the league title. Sevenoaks home unbeaten record still over 3 years, but that team to last knock them off at home were the Leicester Riders back in February of 2018, and they will be looking to do the same no doubt this afternoon. And Sevenoaks this afternoon a little bit short-handed. No Millie Stevens with work commitments and the rest of their junior players tied up with school commitments, so just the 9 players available for coach Len Bush this afternoon. But he does have everyone at the top end of his roster, and obviously no doubt we'll be seeing more from the likes of Kat Carr, who's having an MVP caliber season, and Janice Monacana, who was huge for Sevenoaks in that cup final. And the cup final, of course, won by the visiting Leicester Riders. And obviously both teams have gone through some roster changes since that final. But the key performers there, Holly Winterburn, who's arguably having an MVP caliber season for the Riders as well. 16 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists in that WBBL Cup final. And then Hannah Robb off the bench had 17 points personal, and she was certainly in the conversation for the game MVP, which ended up going to the now departed Kay Oliver. In the cup final as well for the Suns, obviously Janice Monacana, 25 points personal, and that will be a key for the Leicester Riders this afternoon to try and slow her scoring down, along with the other Sevenoaks starters. Both these teams high scoring offences, 2nd and 3rd in the league behind just the London Lions. Leicester coming in averaging 77.6 points per game, and the Suns trailing them ever so slightly, averaging 76.5. We've got just over 35 seconds to go till tip, so feel free to put your prediction in the comments and we'll try and get to some of your comments during the game as well. Leicester coming in after a strong performance on the weekend. They beat the Essex Rebels, who were their only loss of this regular season, 71-42 at home. On a really balanced team effort, but it was Amber Smith, one of their new additions, who led the team in scoring with 20 points personal. And as for the Suns, they came off a double-header weekend, obviously the 76-62 victory here at Surrey Sports Park against the Nottingham Wildcats on Saturday, and they backed that up on the road against the Essex Rebels, this time a lot closer game. It was Essex 71, Sevenoaks 87, and it was Renee Bush leading scorer for the Suns with 21 points personal on 6 of 7 from downtown, as the starting fives just making their way out onto the floor for the Suns. It'll be 1 Lavinia De Silva, 8 Renee Bush, 20 Tiani Clark, 22 Kat Carr, and 31 Irene Garrido Perez. As for the Riders, 6 Holly Winterburn, 9 Hannah Robb, 12 Anna Lappin Cooper, 13 Azania Stewart, and 17 Amber Smith. And it'll be De Silva and Stewart to contest the jump ball, won by Zania Stewart, but Sevenoaks will have possession, and it'll be Tiani Clark that gets us underway in a must-win game for both these teams as they look to try and claim the league title. As Tiani Clark's going to fire out the left wing 2 just towed the line there for Tiani Clark, and she is able to get the first point of the afternoon. As the Riders look to respond, Amber Smith in on the elbow, hands off to Winterburn. She gets bumped on the drive, and that will be a foul on Garrido Perez. So a foul for the Suns start just 32 seconds into this game. And Holly Winterburn being aggressive early on. Winterburn leading scorer for the Riders at 14.5 points per game, and again she's looking to get aggressive, and this time Holly Winterburn gets all the way to the rim, and reverse layup is good for the Riders star. Winterburn also leading the team in assists at just under 6 a game, steals at 2 a game, and she's also 3rd in team rebounding at 7, as Tiani Clark continues her hot start and gets the wide open elbow jumper to go. Tiani Clark coming in averaging just over 10 points a game, as Winterburn now off the ball screen again, gets into lane, goes to a little hook shot, and this time just a little short for Holly Winterburn, and Kat Carr will push in transition. She's got the small lap and Cooper on her, gives it to De Silva. Garrido Perez with the 3, little long, and rebound tipped out of bounds by Lappin Cooper. So Sevenoaks with possession. And it will be Tiani Clark to trigger the inbound. Riders trying to claim the last touch, came off Clark as Lappin Cooper knocks the ball free, and Kat Carr will rescue it. 8 on the shot clock, skip pass to Garrido Perez. Carr coming off the screen, blocked by Zania Stewart in the paint. Good help defense by Zania Stewart. And Zania Stewart came out of retirement to help this Rider side after the departure of Oliver. Had a strong return as Holly Winterburn now isolated on Renee Bush, looking for somewhere to go. She's going to feed it inside, ball deflected out of bounds, and we'll see if they give a reset on the shot clock. Just a discussion between Jesper Sundberg and referee Tahir Akar there. Is it deflected by a hand or a foot? And we'll see what it goes. If the shot clock's not reset, it's just 7 seconds. And yeah, the shot clock will be reset to 14. And it will be Lappin Cooper as Winterburn tried to free Stewart up on the back screen. Zania Stewart back to the middle and gets the right-handed little scoop to go, and we're tied at 4, just 2 minutes gone here in Guildford. As Leicester get the switch, Lappin Cooper able to get out to Renee Bush in time. Now Kat Carr driving on Amber Smith, gives it to De Silva in the short corner. She's got to back it out. Garrido Perez wide open, is going to fire up the straightaway 3 and gets it to go. First triple of the afternoon for Irene Garrido Perez, who's shooting 37.5% as Winterburn off the back screen gets position down low, kicks it to Lappin Cooper. Her 3 up just a little long, but Holly Winterburn able to corral the offensive rebound. She kicks it to Hannah Robb, and Hannah Robb makes no mistake. 41.5% from downtown on season for Hannah Robb, who's having a great first season south of the border, having joined from the Caledonia Pride in the summer. And the GB national team player able to tie the scores up again as Tiani Clark dishes it off to Lavinia De Silva. And Leicester unable to execute on the rotation as Stewart came across to help. And Lavinia De Silva will get her tally going for the afternoon, the Portuguese national team player. And now she'll be guarding Stewart, who skips it to Lappin Cooper. Her right wing 3 off. And the ball will head out of bounds. And there you see just Zania Stewart caught in help and unable to get back to Lavinia De Silva in time. As Tiani Clark handling out the horns, nearly loses the handle. able to dish it to Kat Carr, guarded closely by Hannah Robb. Hannah Robb had a great defensive effort in the cup final and forces Kat Carr into a tough shot, but shot we've seen Kat Carr make all season long, that little elbow turnaround. And the Sevenoaks Suns into a 4-point lead as Jesper Sundberg sends Ella Clark to the scorer's table. And the Riders trying to work the ball inside. Lavinia De Silva called for the hold on Azania Stewart, so second team foul of the game for the Sevenoaks Suns. First on Lavinia De Silva, and it'll be Amber Smith who takes a break to be replaced by Ella Clark. Ella Clark, of course, splitting her duties between the Loughborough Lightning Super League side and the Leicester Riders. And she had a big impact against the London Lions just a week ago as Lapham Cooper finds Stewart inside. Zania Stewart wide open, and she's able to lay it home for two. And Zania Stewart, second basket of the afternoon. Stewart shooting 63% as De Silva's going to fire up a long two. Don't see too many of them, and that doesn't drop. And Holly Winterburn looking to push the pace off the double screen in transition. Trying to find the cuts, and Lapham Cooper's there, and she is able to lay it home for two. And Leicester Riders getting a lot of success in the paint early on. And we're tied at 11 halfway through the first quarters. Tiani Clark, foul line pull-up just a little long, contested rebound, and Ella Clark able to keep it out of the hands of Lavinia De Silva. And Holly Winterburn will set the offense up for the Riders. Play call coming in from the side. As Hannah Robb feeds it inside to Stewart, finds the back cut of Lapham Cooper. Tiani Clark got caught ball watching a little bit there, and Leicester into their first lead of the afternoon of this Wednesday afternoon clash. As Tiani Clark, 6 on the shot clock, guarded by Winterburn, kicks it to Garrido Perez, her corner three up a little long. Rebound tipped out and off the leg of Renee Bush. And it'll be the Leicester Riders ball, and we'll see substitutions for the Suns. Be Janice Monacana checking in, wearing 12. And Tiani Clark will take a break. Good afternoon to all of you joining us this afternoon. Nearly 200 of you watching on this Wednesday afternoon as Azania Stewart kicks it out. Lapham Cooper skips it to Ella Clark, fires it inside again to Stewart. Riders continue trying to get dominance, and Azania Stewart able to lay it home again around Lavinia De Silva, and Stewart up to 6 points personal, and the Leicester leaders 4 as Kat Carr slips. Lapham Cooper unable to force turnover, and then Kat Carr trying to rescue possession, throws it off the leg of Garrido Perez, who was cutting. And Sevenoaks with the turnover as Maya Brewer checking into action. And it'll be Lapham Cooper to take the break. Brewer wearing 10 for the Riders. Part of those roster changes that were made after the WBBL Cup final success. And here's Brewer on the wing again, feeding Stewart. Sevenoaks this time digging in a lot, forces Stewart to kick it out to Hannah Robb. Robb spins, leaves the layup short, and will be called for the travel. Both these sides do a great job of looking after the ball, as you'd expect. Sevenoaks, least turnovers in the league at just under 13 a game. Leicester Riders at 14.8, fourth best. And we'll see if the Suns can cut into this lead as Kat Carr fires up the right wing three, in and out. Offensive rebound, Garrido Perez, and she's able to back it out. And the ball will find the hands of Monacana, who's working on Winterburn, thinks about the setback, gives it to Carr inside. Renee Bush, wide open right wing three, a little long. 4 Riders players contesting the rebound. And looks like the one Oh, the referee's not quite sure who got the last touch. There was 4 Riders players, 1 Suns player. Referee's not sure, so they will call a jump ball. And the possession arrow is with the Riders as a double sub for Leicester with Lapham Cooper and Smith checking back in. Stewart and Rob taking a breather, and Tiani Clark back in off the bench. And it'll be Rene Bush who takes a breather. Lapham Cooper now handling the point for the Riders. Trying to find Ella Clark inside, who was wide open underneath, but pass deflected away. And Leicester Riders looked like for a minute they were going to have an open layup, but instead turn it over. Now Garida Perez finds the cutting Kat Carr, and Carr blows the layup. Uncharacteristic. A miss by the Suns veteran. And again, the Riders will have a chance to extend this lead. Suns on a bit of a scoring drought as Smith can't get the layup to go. Rebound comes out to Clark. She'll find Carr. And now the Riders going to go inside. Monacana got the smaller Lapham Cooper on a reverse layup off the underside of the backboard. Fight for the rebound. And the jump ball arrow this time favouring the Sevenoaks Suns, so they retain possession. Ball hit the underside of the backboard, so 10 on the shot clock. And another Rider sub coming in as Holly Winterburn will take a break and be replaced by the youngster Katie Janoneska. And as for the Suns, Lavinia De Silva taking a break and Katrin Holm, weighing 14, into the lineup. Carr guarded by Smith, sorry, by Brewer, beats her to the middle, and Kat Carr able to this time lay it home for 2. And the Sevenoaks Suns finally get the scoreboard ticking over once again. It was just over 4-minute drought as Ella Clark able to make the contested 3. And an immediate response for the Riders, now lead by 5, 1 minute and 10 left of this first quarter. As Holm to Carr, wide open. Clark on the closeout, can't contain, and a foul on behind. Called, I believe, on Ella Clark, so that'll be the first team foul of the game on the Leicester Riders. And it'll be Kat Carr to the line for 2. Carr able to get the first to go. She's shooting 84% from the line on the season. Just the 6 misses so far in the 17 league games for the Suns. This one does rim out, however, but it's Janice Monacana able to track down the offensive rebound. Looks like she was coming out. Gets to the baseline, layup. Can't go. Another uncharacteristic miss from the Suns at the rim. That's a couple of layups they really gonna want back. As Lapham Cooper finds Clark on the wing, she's going to drive left, trying to back down home, goes to the step back. Ella Clark short, but Janeska able to save the ball on the baseline, but can only find the hands of Kat Carr. Good hustle by the youngster. And now Monacana driving left, blocked by Ella Clark. And the ball rolled onto the baseline. Clark knocked it loose, but Amber Smith unable to keep it in bounds. So it'll be Suns ball. Still 17 on the shot clock. So 1 final possession each left of this first quarter on the offensive end, if everything goes to plan. As Kat Carr trying to set a couple of screens, Lapham Cooper switches out off the inbound. And now Carr able to force, so dribble forced to be picked up as Leicester switch. Tiani Clark into the tough long 2. Again, contested rebound pulled down by Carr. She's going to spin, put it up again, can't get it to go. And Leicester unable to keep it alive, and the shot clock will now be turned off with 13 seconds left of this first quarter. And we'll see if the Suns indeed hold for a final shot as Monacana feeds to Kat Carr. Holm trying to set the flare screen to clear out the side. Carr finds Holm in the high post. Drive and kick. Kat Carr long 2 up, in and out. Contested rebound pulled in by Ella Clark, and that will do it for the end of the first quarter. Janice Monacana looking for some contact, but referee's happy, and at the end of 1, it's the visiting Leicester Riders who lead 18 points to 14.
It's a hard question. Just trying to get my parents out the house as quickly as I could because I wanted to meet my new flatmate.
Our biochemistry teacher made us do the Mexican way.
Oh my, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. The moment I stepped out of the bus,
I remember myself looking at the stag and then looking at my dad saying, that's where I want to be.
I didn't realise I lived opposite the library because the uni is that big. It's actually very, very green. I mean, coming from Dubai, there's a lot of sand everywhere. It was just a great atmosphere.
it was full of like people.
Seeing all the Freshers Angels. My lecturer showed up, great guy.
She's doing entertainment and lecturing at the same time.
The amount of sports and facilities that they have.
And get involved in so many societies.
Pakistani society.
The Hispanic Society.
The colour run.
I played pool for about 9 hours.
Somali society, which is basically my culture.
The Surf Society.
My singing, that's something that I'm really, really passionate about.
It's like a lot of creativeness happening around the university.
Nurturing,
Vibrant.
diverse,
It's because of the people I met.
Friendly.
Welcoming.
inspiring.
If universities were people, Surrey would stand out, definitely. It'd be that kid wearing the weird socks or something.
Moments.
That matter.
At University
of Surrey.
Sorry.
Surrey!
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry! Come here.
And welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park, where it's the Leicester Riders leading the Sevenoaks Suns 18-14 after one. Azania Stewart 6 points in the first quarter. Perfect 3 of 3 from the floor, and she is back out for the start of the second quarter as Holly Winterburn off the ball screen, unable to create anything. And Riders again trying to find the high low to pass, just a little bit too strong for Azania Stewart, and the Leicester Riders commit just their third turnover of the contest. And the Suns will try and respond. Sevenoaks just the one basket in the final 6 minutes of that first quarter allowed the Riders to come back and eventually take the lead as Renee Bush kicks to Monacana, finds De Silva in the low block. She dribbles out looking for Carr, but well defended by the Riders. Monacana spins back to left hand, the layup short, and Holly Winterburn's going to look to push in transition for the Riders. Gets the ball screen for Stewart. Stewart kicks it out to Brewer on the right wing, guarded by De Silva. She's going to go to the little step back. Maya Brewer just a little short on Tiani Clark with the rebound. Sevenoaks have a 3-on-3, but decide to back it out and into the hand of Kat Carr. Coach Len Bush just trying to get something in. Wanted Lavinia De Silva to hold the screen a little bit longer as Carr kicks it out to Monacana. That three's off, but De Silva able to track down another offensive rebound. Sevenoaks dominating the glass so far now. Tiani Clark into lane, runner short, but another offensive rebound. Ball back into the hands of Clark, and she is eventually able to get it to go. Tiani Clark had those 4 early points, and she's now finally able to get one to go after missing a couple of good looks. And the Suns back to within 2, and Sevenoaks already up to 9 offensive rebounds, I believe, as Brewer driving, is called out of bounds, just stepped on the baseline. So back-to-back turnovers for the Riders, and Sevenoaks will have a chance once again to get into the lead. Nice to see Tahir in the chat. No doubt he will be on the call on Sunday for what potentially will be a title decider as Monacana runs through the chest of Amber Smith, and she'll be called for the offensive foul. First personal on Monacana, and Hannah Robb will come back in off the bench here. You can see Brewer there in time and able to get her chest in the way of Janice Monacana, and a good call by the referees to reward the defense. As Holly Winterburn picked up a dribble in a tough spot, but able to find cutting Hannah Robb. She can't get the layup to go. Offensive rebound, Azania Stewart. And Azania Stewart able to lay it home and once again. And she remains perfect from the floor, 4-4. But she can't contain Kat Carr, but Carr misses the layup. And the ball tipped out of bounds by De Silva. So Sevenoaks struggles at the rim continue. That's the third blown wide open layup. And you wonder if that will come back to haunt them. Reminder that Leicester Riders, realistically, to win the title, probably have to win both of these games, as Stewart unable to get it to go this time, but ball tipped out of bounds and Riders retained possession. Looked like Stewart caught a bit of a leg. I think the knee of De Silva ran into the kind of thigh of Azania Stewart. She's just able to shake it off, and it'll be Hannah Robb for the inbound. 11 on the shot clock, as Winterburn certainly been quite offensive by her standards, just the 2 points early, but Janice Monacana with her second personal foul, and she will come straight over to the bench. And sub coming both ways as Garrido Perez in for Monacana, and Anna Lappen-Cooper back in for the Riders, replacing Jananeska. Smith finds Stewart. Zania Stewart this time going to put it on the floor, finding Winterburn on the handoff. Holly Winterburn fires inside. Stewart double team, but Lappen-Cooper open, comes back to the what arguably looked like a tougher layup to make the reverse layup there with help, but Anna Lappen-Cooper able to get it to go, and she's up to 6 points personal, and the Leicester Rider lead is at 6. As Renee Bush on the right wing being given the baseline by Winterburn. She will skip it to Lavinia De Silva, and Lavinia De Silva able to make the long two. Holly Winterburn now driving, kicks it to a wide open Brewer, run off the 3-point line. Winterburn pops back out. Brewer had the open look, but decided to keep the ball moving as Winterburn drives into traffic and couldn't get the ball away in time as she stumbled. And Holly Winterburn will be called for the travel. Kat Carr are bringing the ball up again, looking for the middle ball screen by De Silva. She gets the switch with Stewart, and De Silva tries to back cut on Smith. It was open, but Azania Stewart able to just about get a hand in the passing lane, forced the turnover. And be Lappen-Cooper to Winterburn in transition as De Silva out on the hard hedge. Tiani Clark was late trying to bump on Stewart, but Leicester's pass delayed enough that Sevenoaks to get back, and Holly Winterburn this time splits the hard hedge, tries to find Smith in the corner, but turns it over, and Leicester a little bit sloppy with the ball in this second quarter, but Hannah Robb able to jump into the passing lane, and a jump ball is called. And Arrow with the Suns, and coach Jesper Sundberg will take this time to talk it over. Will use the first timeout of the game with his Leicester Riders leading 22-18 here at the Surrey Sports Park. Welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park, of both teams looking to make their way out onto the floor. See a couple of the Surrey Scorchers players up on the balcony as they prepare for the final weekend of the BBL Championship season. Surrey still in the race for the playoffs and will be here at the Surrey Sports Park on Friday night as they look to take a step towards clinching that playoff berth. And no doubt Jesper Sundberg talking about turnovers in that timeout. Back-to-back turnovers for the Riders. And they have 4 total turnovers in the first 4.5 minutes of this second quarter. And they will come back on to the floor with Robb, Winterburn, Clark, Stewart and Lappen-Cooper. And the starting 5 out on the floor for the Suns. As Carr was thinking about the three, but decided against it. Instead gives it to Tiani Clark, working on the elbow on Rob. Up and under, and Tiani Clark again can't get it to go. Ball tipped out of bounds, and the referee says the last touch was, well, once... Well, no, in fact, they both say the last touch was off for Xenia Stewart. So, probably just saying, don't argue it, you know it was off you, but Xenia trying to get away with the extra possession for the Riders. Foul called there on Hannah Robb. So that'll be her first personal of the game. Leicester Riders only with the 2 fouls in the entire game so far. Referees letting both sides play. Renee Bush off the staggers, open and able to knock down the 3. And Rennie Bush, having made the 6 triples on Sunday, able to get her second attempt to go. Stewart out on the skip to a wide open Ella Clark, and Clark this time unable to get it to go just off to the right. And Tiani Clark fires a long outlet out. Kat Calf looking to push in transition. And Leicester Riders able to get back into the half court. As De Silva open in the high post. Stewart out to contest, but a little late from Azania Stewart. But coach Jesper Sundberg happy with that shot, saying to Azania Stewart, no problem. And Lavinia De Silva able to put the Suns into the 1-point lead. And a whistle there, not quite sure what it was. Xenia Stewart caught the ball out inside the paint and then stepped out, so looks to me like it was a 3-second call. And yet another Leicester Riders turnover. They've only got the 4 points in the opening 6 minutes of this second quarter. As Kat Carr baseline kicks it out to De Silva. 7 now on the shot clock. Silva trying to feed the ball to Garrido Perez as Renee Bush back cut. And a turnover for the Suns, and you can see on the sideline Len Bush talking it over with his daughter, just trying to make sure everyone's on the same page. And see if Sevenoaks can end this 7-0 Sevenoaks run as Stewart faces up on De Silva, looks Tiana Clark coming on a late double to get a hand in the passing lane, forced tournament. Sun to have numbers in transition, 4-on-2 break. Garrido Perez steps into the open short corner jumper, and the Sevenoaks Suns now on a 9-0 run. Leicester scoreless over the last 3.5 minutes. And Winterburn touch pass to Lappen Cooper, her corner 3 up and a little long, but a good look for the German. As Kat Carr brings it over under big pressure by Holly Winterburn, nearly lost the handle but able to keep it alive. And Tiani Clark, guarded by Ella Clark, kicks it out. 5 on the shot clock. De Silva coming for the late ball screen. Kat Carr's going to have to force it up. Leaves it well short, and Holly Winterburn comes in for the defensive board. As Ella Clark's going to fire up the 3 off to the left, and the ball's going to head out of bounds. And coach Len Bush will use one of his 2 timeouts he's got left of this first half. And despite his 9-0 run, probably just as much anything at this stage wanting to give his side a little bit of a breather. Sevenoaks only going to probably rotate, looks like 7 at the moment, and even that 7th in Katrin Holmes only played just under 2 minutes. And it gives a quick chance to look at the stats, and really Sevenoaks dominating on the glass. They have 10 offensive rebounds so far. Leicester Riders with only 11 defensive boards. Despite all of that, the second chance points somehow are tied at 7 apiece, so the 4 offensive rebounds for Leicester they've converted with 7 points, so no doubt be a little bit of an emphasis for Sevenoaks to try and take advantage of some of the second chance opportunities they are creating. And Leicester dominate in the paint. They have 16 points in the paint out of their 22. And Sevenoaks just with the 8 paint points themselves so far, so Leicester's domination inside not accounting for a lot, and they will need to find some perimeter help, as both teams 2 and 7 from downtown. And the only set of free throws so far on either side went to Cat Car in that first quarter. And just a 6 total fouls, so the referees are laying both teams into it as Sevenoaks finally out of that timeout. Change for the Riders coming out. Amber Smith back in. And it'll be Azania Stewart who has headed to the bench. Suns still with the starting 5 on the court. Protecting Janice Monacano is the only player in the game on 2 fouls. As Carr swings it to De Silva, she'll take the long 2. And Lavinia De Silva able to get it to go. And the Portuguese international now 4 of 5 from the floor. She's up to 8 points personal along with 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So a big impact game for Lavinia De Silva's Amber Smith in the post. Able to get to the middle of the floor, and her turnaround jump shot is good. And the Leicester Riders finally get one to go. It's been nearly 5 minutes since they last scored. In fact, exactly 5 minutes, but Cat Carr able to respond at the other end, gets the foul line jumper to go. And the Suns back into this 5-point lead as we're into the final 90 seconds of this first half. Amber Smith, foul line jumper, can't get it to go. And Suns looking to push the pace with Garrido Perez in transition, finds De Silva, similar spot, this time blocked by Ella Clark. Second block of the game for Clark. And Holly Winterburn in transition finds this Amber Smith, her 3 off to the left. And the Suns will have the ball in the final minute. Amber Smith, a rare miss. She's shooting 45.5% from downtown on the season in her 11 games. As Carr drives, kicks it to De Silva. Leicester collapse enough, but Tiana Clark's going to take the pull-up 3, leaves it a little off to left, and Jesper Sundberg wanting Holly Winterburn to slow it down rather than go for the 2 for 1, and we'll see what they do. But Holly Winterburn fires a cross-court pass. Cat Carr in the passing lane, 2-on-1. Carr to Lavinia De Silva, she lays it home, and time out Jesper Sundberg with 28 seconds left of the first half, and his side trailing by 7. And really a forced pass there by Holly Winterburn, trying to find something on the cross court that wasn't really there. And the Leicester Riders paying for their 9th turnover of the half. And now in their biggest deficit of the game. And there we'll see the Cat Carr was never seemed like she was really going for that layup, was just trying to draw Ella Clark close enough so she can make the pass, and Lavinia De Silva being paid for the run in transition, and she's up to 10 points personal, the only player in the game in double digits. And Cat Carr already on triple-double watch yet again, despite only shooting 3 of 10 from the floor. She has 7 points personal, 5 rebounds, 6 assists as we close in on half-time. And looks like both sides heading out with the same 5. Sevenoaks still have that 1 timeout left if Coach Len Bush needs it. And it'll be interesting to see if Riders do score, if he will call it just to stop the clock and see if he can use the final 4 or 5 seconds. As Lappin Cooper with the ball out top, asking clear out as Hannah Robb comes through off the double screen. Lappin Cooper working on Clark, goes to the scoop shot, in and out, contested rebound off the leg of Tiana Clark. And the shot clock will be turned off 3.6 seconds left in the half. See what the Riders have drawn up. Winterburn fakes the screen, pops to Grimter, finds Clark. She's going to have to put it up long too, off to the left. And the Sevenoaks Suns, with a dominating second quarter, have taken a 7-point lead into half-time. Sevenoaks winning that second quarter 17 points to 6 after Leicester had extended their lead to 6 early on in the second quarter. But the Suns come storming back and have a strong lead going into half-time. Reminder, this is a vital game for both teams in the quest for the WBBL Championship. Sevenoaks need to just win 2 of their final 3 games. Obviously, they close the season out in Leicester on Sunday before making the long trip up to Edinburgh on Wednesday night. And realistically, for the Leicester Riders to win the title, most likely they will need to win today and on Sunday. And that will do it for half-time at the Surrey Sports Park. We will take a break and leave you with some highlights of the first half and rejoin you in about 10 minutes time for second half action. Make sure you leave some comments in the YouTube comment section and we will address them on our return.
Once you see what's possible, you can really go far as your determination takes you. From master students to PhD students, you get an opportunity to work together.
If you have a vision, you can create a postgrad that works for you.
I'm supported and encouraged to learn how I want.
The industrial research that our 5G Innovation Center is doing attracted me to come to Surrey University.
The lecturers have incredible industry connections, and it's their insight that's helped me prepare for a future beyond a postgraduate degree.
The facilities open me up to social groups outside of studies.
The supportiveness of the lecturers.
Opportunity to be involved in many different things.
I wanted to enrich my knowledge and further my experience.
We come from all kinds of backgrounds, and yet we have this in common.
It's a hard question. Just trying to get my parents out the house as quickly as I could because I wanted to meet my new flatmate.
Our biochemistry teacher made us do the Mexican way.
Oh my, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. The moment I stepped out of the bus,
I remember myself looking at the stag and then looking at my dad saying, that's where I want to be.
I didn't realise I lived opposite the library because the uni is that big. It's actually very, very green. I mean, coming from Dubai, there's a lot of sand everywhere. It was just a great atmosphere.
it was full of people.
Seeing all the freshers angels. My lecturer showed up, great guy.
She's doing entertainment and lecturing at the same time.
The amount of sports and facilities that they have.
And get involved in so many societies.
Pakistani society.
The Hispanic society.
The colour run.
I played pool for about 9 hours.
Somali society, which is basically my culture.
The surf society.
My singing, that's something that I'm really passionate about.
It's like a lot of creativeness happening around the university.
Nurturing.
Vibrant.
Diverse.
It's because of the people I met.
Friendly.
Welcoming.
Inspiring.
If universities were people, Surrey would stand out, definitely. It'd be that kid wearing the weird socks or something.
Moments
That matter.
At University
of Surrey.
Sorry.
Surrey!
Surrey.
Sorry.
Surrey.
Sorry! Come here.
with the opportunity to win the regular season title, facing off here at the Surrey Sports Park before meeting again on Sunday. And the story of the first half, for those of you just joining us over the half-time break, Leicester Riders jumped out to a 6-point lead after winning the first quarter 18-14, but Sevenoaks Suns dominating the second quarter held Leicester scoreless for exactly 5 minutes as part of a 17-6 quarter, and that's why they have a 7-point lead at the break. Lavinia De Silva for the Sevenoaks Suns with a huge contribution, 10 points personal and 4 rebounds, 3 assists for the Portuguese national team player on 5 of 7 shooting. And Kat Carr, as always, with an MVP contender having a strong game. She is on triple-double watch, 7 points, 6 assists and 5 rebounds for Kat Carr. As for the Riders, it was all about Azania Stewart in the first quarter. Stewart made her first 4 field goal attempts on her way to 8 points personal, and also had 3 rebounds. And Anna Lappen-Cooper, 6 points and 2 assists for the Riders. Reminder of the title complexions of this game. Sevenoaks need to just win 2 of their final 3 games, with their final matchup after Sunday's rematch being up in Caledonia. So in all likelihood, Sevenoaks would be favoured to win the league with just the 1 win out of the 2. And Leicester Riders control their own destiny. If they are to win both games against the Suns, the game on Saturday against the London Lions will be effectively irrelevant. Leicester could win or lose that game and know that all they need to do if they manage to come back and win this game is win on Sunday, and the league is theirs going into the playoffs. A reminder for those of you that did not see the announcement made, I believe it was yesterday, that the WBBL playoffs this year will all be on the Sky Sports YouTube channel and fully centralised, so the playoff quarterfinals will be up in Newcastle on the 1st and 2nd of May. The playoff semi-finals Friday the 7th of May, before the final at the Leicester Sports Arena on the 16th. As both teams head out onto the floor for the second half. Riders with Robb, Lappen-Cooper, Stewart, Winterburn and Clark. And for the Suns it's Clark, Garrido, Perez, De Silva, Carr and Busch. And it'll be Leicester Riders to get us underway in the second quarter. Winterburn off the handoff, pulls up for a deep 3. And Holly Winterburn knocks it down. The Riders were just 2 of 8 from downtown in the first half. And Holly Winterburn, a really quiet offensive performance, just the 2 points at the half, but she knocks down that triple, and that will get the Riders going as De Silva again from the mid-range made a load, and Kat Carr to pull down the offensive rebound and fouled on the putback attempt by Hannah Robb. And just for the second time this afternoon, we will have people at the line. There was only 2 free throws in that entire first half, and they were for Kat Carr, who uncharacteristic went 1 of 2. Riders just with those 2 personal fouls at half-time. And Kat Carr 2 of 2. And she's now up to 9 points personal. Second leading scorer in the game behind her teammate Lavinia De Silva. As Hannah Robb gets into the paint, decides against the mid-range, going to kick it out. Ella Clark and Winterburn on the handoff. Ella Clark trying to connect with Azania Stewart, but good hands in the passing lane once again by the Suns to break it up. And Kat Carr working on the baseline, but steps on the line, so back-to-back turnovers. And here you can see on the drive, Kat Carr just bumped, and then just a left foot just couched just the baseline. And the Suns with just their 5th turnover of the entire game. And a drive, and we'll see, believe they're going to call a foul. The 2 referees just getting together to confirm the call. foul is on 20. That is Tiani Clark, her first personal. And Jesper Sundberg trying to call his team in. I think it's 2 shots. Suns were trying to say it was on the floor, but it'll be Anna Lappen-Cooper to the line, and you can just see Jesper Sundberg just trying to make an early adjustment in this second half with the other 4 players as Lappen-Cooper makes the first. Lappen-Cooper, 74% free throw shooter, able to go 2 of 2. Make sure you share this link. We've already got nearly 250 of you watching at the moment. Make sure you let people know. We'll see how many people we can get to watch the second half of what could be a title-defining game, as Kat Carr, who has struggled from the floor, really 3 of 10 up until then, able to get the mid-range jumper to go, and she moves on to 11 points personal, and the Suns lead back to 6 as Stewart in the mid-block double team kicks out wide open 3 for Ella Clark, up a little long. She chased after the rebound but came up short, and now Riders short in transition defense as Carr is going to push, get into lane. Good defense by Lappen-Cooper to force her to kick it out. Normally see Kat Carr shoot those kind of turnarounds, and now she's working on Holly Winterburn in the mid-block, face up, isolation, loads of room for Carr. She's going to shoot the jumper, leave it a little short and to the left, and Holly Winterburn will collect her 6th board of the game and get the Riders back going on the offensive end. Tries to feed it inside to Stewart, but again, Riders struggling to feed Azania Stewart cleanly in the post. And another turnover as Renee Bush forced to put the ball on the deck. And she dribbled with 2 hands, I believe. And she'll be called for the double dribble. Referee Tahir Carr saying she had 2 hands on the ball, which I don't quite see there. So maybe a little bit of a lucky break for the Riders, or maybe something that me being a fully unqualified referee is not looking to spot, as Hannah Robb drives into the paint. Low pass for Stewart, but she dives on the floor to keep possession alive. To Lappen-Cooper, step back jumper is up and good. And Anna Lappen-Cooper, the first Leicester Riders player into double digits. Lappen-Cooper, well, already a season average coming in, averaging 7.5 points a game, but has certainly improved the scoring down the stretch. Had some big threes against the Barking Abbey London Lions a week ago, and Kat Carr, as she seems to do, always able to heat up in the second half. That turnaround jumper is good, and Kat Carr with 6 points early on in this second half, as Ella Clark again trying to feed Zania Stewart. Ambitious pass, but using perhaps some of those netball skills to find Stewart. She now cuts to the elbow, jumper is good, and a big bucket by Ella Clark. And probably just pick up on the floor my Riders general manager Russell Levinson trying to encourage his team. He knows it's a big afternoon for the Leicester Riders, of course, with the men in action as well, with a chance to clinch the league themselves. And Hannah Robb called for a foul on Renee Bush, just a little hold. And Hannah Robb now in a little bit of foul trouble, but it's our 3rd personal foul of the game. Riders only committed 4 fouls, 3 of them on Hannah Robb, and she will take a break. Amber Smith off the bench. And as for the Suns, Renee Bush will head for a breather, and Janice Monicana in off the bench. Monicana, who sat the last 6 minutes or so of the second quarter, having picked up her 2nd personal foul. See if she can have an impact, having had 25 points in the WBBL Cup final. Obviously both rosters changed a little bit since then. Monicana to lose the handle. Kat Carr to beat the buzzer. 3 is up, but off to the left. Kat Carr having to force it up. Good defense by the Riders that time. And they are able to get the stop. Good afternoon to all of you in the chat. See Niall Gray in the comments, along with Callum Stevens from Essex, as well as Hugh Hopkins. Pamela Bishop pointing out that Zania Stewart, great to see her back, and Sevenoaks have certainly taken her out of the game since she had the 8 points early. A lot of double teams coming and Riders have struggled to deal with it. It's Winterburn, tough wraparound pass on the baseline, finds a wide open Amber Smith, and she will make no mistake. Smith, the 42% three-point shooter, able to get her second attempt of the afternoon to go, and Leicester Riders have cut this gap to 1 midway through this second half, apologies, as Kat Carr looking to go to work on the elbow, guarded by Lapham Coopers. Drive right, spin left, tries to feed the cutting Tiani Clark, but hands up, Tiani Clark, 1 second, not gonna beat the buzzer. And back-to-back, good defense by the Riders, effectively forcing 2 24-second violations, and the momentum now back with the visitors, who lead, or winning this third quarter 12 points to 6. As Ella Clark on the elbow looking for Stewart, flashed to the elbow. Now the ball with Amber Smith, gets it to Zania Stewart. She spins back to the right, single coverage as Zania Stewart misses, but gets the offensive rebound, and she will head to the line. Foul, I believe, indeed, it is on 22. That's Kat Carr, her first personal, second team foul for the Suns. And as Zania Stewart to the line for 2. Zania Stewart averaging 10.6 points per game, along with 8 rebounds and 2.5 assists on her return out of retirement. And she's able to tie the scores at 37. And with the second, the Leicester Riders, for the first time in about 14 minutes, are into the lead. And we'll see if the Suns can respond. Monacana, wide open left wing 3, just a little long. Rare miss from Janice Monacana from down home. She's been shooting 42% on the year. And Lapham Cooper unable to find an advantage in transition, so she'll kick out to Winterburn, finds Ella Clark. Now Lapham Cooper left ring, gonna take the pull-up jump shot, just a little short. To Silva, fends off Stewart and gets the rebound, and a long pass ahead, and Kat Carr able to come get the ball out of Janice Monacana's hands. Looked like Monacana stopped in a rough spot to be trapped, but unable to go, and Kat Carr nearly had the ball not loose. She'll go to the turnaround jump shot, just a little long. Offensive rebound to Silva. She finds Carr, wide open 3 for Kat Carr, and she makes no mistake. And Kat Carr's footprints are all over this third quarter for the Sevenoaks Suns. It's up to 16 points personal, and another huge offensive rebound for Sevenoaks. They've now got 12 offensive rebounds in this game. The problem in the first half was converting those, as Winterburn forced to back the ball up. 6 seconds left for Amber Smith. She's going to drive baseline, tried to feed the ball inside to Stewart, and a foul is called on behind, as I believe Tiani Clark just bumped her. We'll see who the foul was on. Indeed, it is Kat Carr, apologies, for a little reach in. So second personal on Kat Carr, third team foul, and off the bench for the Riders, that other American, Maya Brewer, and she will give Ella Clark a break. Ella Clark, of course, doubling up between the Loughborough Lightning netball and the Leicester Riders, and unfortunately for the Riders, Loughborough Lightning have a game on Sunday as well, so it'll be interesting to see if Ella Clark is with basketball or netball, as Monacana strips the ball from Brewer, fresh off the bench. So a little bit of rust perhaps for Maya Brewer. She's now guarded Kat Carr, who is fouled on the dish, and that will be the third team foul of the quarter for the Leicester Riders. First on Brewer, and here you can see the bump, and it's one of those in that situation, rather referee just playing advantage, because Lavinia Silva had the wide open layup, but unfortunately referee has to call a foul if it occurs, and Renee Bush will check back in off the bench. Irene Garrido-Perez with a breather for the Suns. We'll see what happens as Renee Bush looked to come off a stagger screen on the weak side, but Riders defended it well. So instead, with Kat Carr isolated on Brewer, stops, dishes it to Clark, blocked by Winterburn, but ball straight into the hands of Tiani Clark, and she's able to lay it home for 2. And the Sevenoaks Suns back into a 2-possession lead as Holly Winterburn avoids the hedge, finds a wide open Brewer, and Brewer able to knock down the 3. And the Leicester Riders, having struggled from downtown in the first half, have 3 triples in this third quarter as they try and get back into it, as De Silva backs it out from the low block. And the ball now into the hands of Tiani Clark. 10 on the shot clock, finds the cutting Kat Carr, and she's able to lay it home for 2. But that comes all from the pass by Tiani Clark. And both these teams going hard at each other in this third quarter, as you'd expect from the top 2 in the WBBL Championship. And a rare long possession for the Riders. Lappin Cooper brings it out. Again, Sevenoaks trying to be aggressive in pick and roll. Holly Winterburn wide open for initially, but Zania Stewart has to throw up the hook to beat the buzzer. And she can't get it to go. Tough look for Stewart, but shot clock was down to 1. As Carr now looking to be aggressive, finds the back cut of Renee Bush. She's driving baseline, finds Tiani Clark. She'll put the ball on the floor as it finds De Silva, her mid-range jumper long. And Holly Winterburn's gonna just slow the ball up just a little bit, walk it over into the front court. As Smith off the flare screen fires up another 3, this one just off to the left. And looks like a double substitution coming in for Jesper Sundberg, Ella Clark and Hannah Robb on those 3 personal fouls checking in. And it'll be Azania Stewart and Holly Winterburn taking a break for the Riders, a win to the final 65 seconds of this third quarter, was what's been a terrific game of basketball. And make sure you get your predictions in for the fourth quarter in the comments, as Tiani Clark tried to fire the skip pass but went straight into hands of Brewer. She's going to go coast to coast in transition. Brewer's layup doesn't drop. Maybe there's a problem with making layups on this right-hand side of the basket. We saw Sevenoaks miss a few in the first half as well. As Ella Clark able to cut off Kat Carr. And now she'll get it back. Corner 3 up and not quite able to get it to go. Contested rebound. And Lavinia De Silva wraps up Lappin Cooper. She's probably a little bit lucky. It's not an unsportsmanlike foul. Definitely no attempts for the ball. And Holly Winterburn will, after missing just 45 seconds of action, will check back in for Amber Smith. 4 second differential between shot and game clock, so Leicester Riders will try and run it out. And we'll see if Jesper Sundberg goes to his leading scorer in Holly Winterburn for this final offense. Lappin Cooper at the moment waiting for the screen from Ella Clark. Lappin Cooper now into the hands of Winterburn. Step back 3 for Holly Winterburn. Up, in, out, and nearly dropped, but Tiani Clark with the defensive board. The shot clock buzzer went off, and Clark just paused, and Renee Bush unable to get the 3 to go. And that will do it for 3 quarters here at the Surrey Sports Park. Leicester Riders winning the third quarter 17-13, but it's the Sevenoaks Suns who will take the 3-point lead into the third quarter intermission. And after some adverts, we will rejoin you here at the Surrey Sports Park for the fourth quarter.
Once you see what's possible, you can really go far as your determination takes you.
From master students to PhD students, you get an opportunity to work together.
If you have a vision, you can create a postgrad that works for you.
I'm supported and encouraged to learn how I want.
The industrial research that our 5G Innovation Center is doing attracted me to come to Surrey University.
The lecturers have incredible industry connections, and it's their insight that's helped me prepare for a future beyond the postgraduate degree.
The facilities open me up to social groups outside of studies.
The supportiveness of the lecturers.
Opportunity to be involved in many different things.
I wanted to enrich my knowledge and further my experience.
We come from all kinds of backgrounds, and yet we have this in common.
welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park, where I come back to seeing Niall Gray sitting on the fence well and truly and refusing to say where this game's going. And to be fair, I don't really blame him, because I don't think anyone can make a prediction of where this top of the table clash is going. Sevenoaks are leading by 3 points at the end of 3 quarters, and a reminder that Leicester Riders, if they win today, all they need to do to clinch the title will be to repeat the win against the Suns on Sunday in Leicester. And as for Sevenoaks, they need 2 wins out of the final 3. So a win here will give them one hand on the trophy, as you would probably expect them to win up in Caledonia on the final day of the season if they need that game to win the league. But stranger things have happened, and for sure this Leicester Riders team will not give up, as both teams on the floor for the final quarter. And it'll be Sevenoaks possession out of the break. Suns with Bush, De Silva, Monicana, Clark and Carr on the floor. A little bit late with the shot clock restarting, so the referees will just sort that out. As for the Riders, it's Robb, Clark, Winterburn, Lappin Cooper and Brewer on the floor. And really that third quarter, for those of you joining us late to this game, the third quarter dominated by Kat Carr. She's up to 18 points personal, along with 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Lavinia De Silva still stuck on those 10 points. As for the Riders, it's Lappin Cooper and Stewart, both with 10 apiece as well, as De Silva tries to feed it into Monicana, but Monicana loses the handle. And both teams who got a little bit sloppy with the ball in that third quarter will look to tidy that up down the stretch. Sevenoaks committed their 10th turnover of the game on that possession. And Riders will look to respond with Winterburn coming off the stagger screens, drives hard, leaves the little running hook short. Tiani Clark out in transition long to Monicana, and Janice Monicana lays it home for 2. And Janice Monicana, who was 0 of 6 from the floor, able to get her first points of the afternoon. Winterburn in the high post, guarded by Carr, forced to give it up as Brewer works on Monicana. She goes to the right-handed inside layup, and that rolls in and out for Brewer. And the Sevenoaks Suns have a chance to try and pull away just a little bit here, as Tiani Clark, wide open, gives it back to Renee Bush. You missed the chance to have a wide open jumper now. Bush gets past Winterburn, leaves it short, offensive rebound Clark, and a foul on the rebound. Tiani Clark got hit by Ella Clark, and Tiani Clark will head to the line for 2. Second personal foul of the game on Clark. And Jesper Sundberg straight to the bench, and will bring in Azania Stewart. Make sure you share the link and get people watching the final 8.5 minutes of this clash. As Tiani Clark able to make just 1 of 2, the second no good. Sevenoaks 4 of 6 from the line on the day. And the Riders perfect 4 of 4. Stewart, elbow jumper up, and a little long for Azania Stewart, and the Leicester Riders offense a little bit slow to get going once again, and they won't have too much time to get going, as Monicana's free looked like it was going to drop, but Janice Monicana still struggling from the floor as Winterburn finds the cutting Azania Stewart in the trailer spot, and Suns just lost track of Azania Stewart, and she will get the easiest layup you want. And it's down to a 4-point game once again as Winterburn knocks the ball loose from Clark, but she's able to go into the backcourt and pick it up and find Lavinia De Silva on the bailout. Monicana's going to have to get aggressive. Tough shot over Ella Clark. Good defense by Clark, and Monicana again maybe a little bit of force at time as Winterburn goes to the Eurostep. A left-handed layup, no good. Both teams struggling for offense right now, but the game certainly seems to be opening up. Both teams looking for transition. Monicana decides against the free, finds Kat Carr, guarded by Hannah Robb. 10 on the shot clock. Robb letting Carr go into the middle. Riders switch it, and now Tiani Clark with the back cut wide open. Holly Winterburn, don't know if she was meant to switch or follow, but she was the closest Rider player. And Tiani Clark now into double digits with 11 points personal. Stewart in the high post. Gonna slip the screen with Clark. Great find by Clark, but Stewart triple team. Tiani Clark knocks it loose, and Kat Carr splits Winterburn and Clark, and she will go coast to coast. And time out. Jesper Sundberg looking for a foul on Azania Stewart. He can't believe that there's not a foul, and he is making his point after getting the timeout. You can see him still continuing, and now he's asking officials to watch it, and he will now head over to the bench to talk it over with his side, trailing by 8. And here you can see the back cut. Lapham Cooper stayed on the, looked like she was just going to pick up the screen, and Holly Winterburn was meant to switch, but Winterburn was wanting to track the player, and 2 players guarding one does not work, and Tiani Clark able to just cut and lay it home as easy as you like. And then Kat Carr in transition, able to go coast to coast, and she's up to 20 points personal. And not only is she on a triple-double watch, as you can see there, Tiani Clark also now on triple-double watch, 11 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. So Tiani Clark and Kat Carr both just need 3 assists. And then Clark, 1 rebound, Carr 2. And at the moment, someone might need to get hold of Dan Routledge and find out the last time 2 teammates got a triple-double in the same game. And something that certainly will not have been done very often. As the Suns, the first 2 head out onto the floor, it looks like they will stick with the same 5. Suns just played the 7 players so far this afternoon. And that 7th playing, Kat Holm, only played the 2 minutes. And Jesper Sundberg down the stretch definitely seems to shorten his rotation as well. And it'll be Riders to get us back underway, with Lapham Cooper feeding Ella Clark. Now Stewart on the duck-in, guarded by De Silva, forced to give up her dribble. Winterburn in traffic, dribbles it out. It's got a favourable matchup with Lavinia De Silva. She will drive on the baseline, skirt the line, looking for a foul on the bump, but Sevenoaks deflected it out of bounds, and Leicester Riders will have 5 seconds to work with on the shot clock. As Clark sets the up screen, gets the inside position, but Lapham Cooper didn't have an angle to fire the ball in. She'll have to fire up the jump shot, and that's a little long. And Lavinia De Silva with her 8th board of the game. And the Sevenoaks Suns will have a chance to make this a double digits game once again. The biggest lead of the game is what it is at the moment at 8 points. As De Silva tried to feed Carr, and a scramble for the ball, dived on by Azania Stewart, the biggest player on the floor, making it, but Ella Clark tried to feed Lapham Cooper, and Janice Monacana able to read the outlet pass and steal the ball back for the Suns. So a perhaps costly turnover for the Riders as Carr finds a wide open Renee Bush. Riders again look lost on the defensive end, and Renee Bush makes them pay. Her 2nd triple of the afternoon, and it's an 11-point game all of a sudden for the home side, as they look to complete a 3rd season in a row undefeated at home. Last loss coming February 2018, as Winterburn fires up the 3. That's off to the right, and Suns out in transition 4-on-1 as Winterburn gambles. Renee Bush 3 once again, knocks it down, and Jesper Sundberg another quick timeout, and this game, how it is turned. Sevenoaks Suns with a huge run, and all of a sudden this game that looked like it was going to be coming down to the wire is a massive mountain to climb for the visitors, who trail by 14 after Sevenoaks had a 10-0 run. Leicester's last bucket coming at the 8-minute mark, so nearly 3 minutes scoreless, and the Sevenoaks Suns making them pay. And here we see the replay that forced the timeout. 4-on-2, Kat Carr deciding to kick it out to Renee Bush, and She, wide open corner three, makes no mistake. Renee Busch shooting 43% from downtown. And I believe she's made the most threes in the league this season. And that will be her 40th, in fact, of the regular season. And we'll see what Jesper Sundberg has as he tries to keep his side in title contention. Reminder that a win here will leave the Suns needing just one of their final two, either at Leicester on Sunday or at Edinburgh against the Caledonia Pride next Wednesday night. See what the Riders can do as Smith with the turnaround jump shot just rolls out for Amber Smith. Tough look, but Holly Winterburn trying to pick up in the full court. Carr gets to the baseline, feeds Tiani Clark, her three up, and this time just a little off for Tiani Clark. And Riders now looking to push the pace. Can see Jesper Sundberg on sideline, waving Holly Winterburn forward. Trying to get to as Smith in the post on Clark. It goes again to the fall away. And Leicester Riders right now just taking tough shot after tough shot. The Sevenoaks defense really cramped down, and Holly Winterburn with the foul on Tiani Clark. And that'll be her first personal second team foul for the Riders. And good afternoon to Angelo Bravo. Seems to be joining us from Chile, so it'll be a good morning in that case. As Monacana jab step, fires up the three, leaves it well short. And an easy rebound for Hannah Robb, who finds her point guard in Holly Winterburn. Riders playing a little bit bigger down the stretch with Lappin Cooper on the bench, as Smith again looking to have the ball in her hands, loses the handle, came off Kat Carr's foot. But Amber Smith right now trying to create the offense for the Riders, and it'll be Lappin Cooper in for Ella Clark with 4 minutes left in the ball game. Carr out on Lappin Cooper, able to blow up the screen. Smith now with Monacana, step back three, well contested by Monacana, well short by Amber Smith. And Amber Smith now starting to really struggle from the floor, having made an impact early in the first half. She's now 2 of 9 shooting. As Kat Carr again driving on Holly Winterburn, trying to be aggressive, feeds Monacana. Her long two, well short, air ball in fact by Monacana, and the ball tipped out of bounds by Amber Smith. And the Leicester Riders still just with the 2 points. And Coach Len Busch, with the timeout that he would lose in 100 seconds if he didn't use it, will take the opportunity to draw up a play from the end line. And really now Leicester Riders pretty much need to be perfect for the final 3:40 of this game. Trailing by 14, the only way you're going to get back in is stops and multiple scores, and that's just something we've not seen in either the second or the fourth quarter this afternoon. Reminder that the Riders had just 6 points in the second quarter, and that's what allowed the Suns to pull away going into half-time. And now the Suns are leading this fourth quarter 13-2. And we'll keep an eye on this triple-double watch. Kat Carr, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists now. And Tiani Clark is up to a double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds, and she has 7 assists as well. So both players still with a chance. As for the Riders, really the 2 players that did huge damage in the WBBL Cup final, Holly Winterburn and Hannah Robb, are combined 8 points today on 3 of 10 shooting. And Holly Winterburn certainly struggled also for the Riders. And on the baseline, Russell Levingston, the Riders GM, trying to fire his side up in what could be a big afternoon for the Riders. I expect Russell will be flying to the copper box straight after this. as the Leicester Riders BBL side have a chance to clinch the BBL title this afternoon if they can beat the London Lions. But that will be the least of his worries for now, as Suns had a great look from the out of bounds. Tiani Clark fed Kat Carr, and Carr, instead of going straight up, dribbled the ball out of bounds and then lost the ball. It looked like a Riders touch, but deflected back off Carr's foot. So a turnover is exactly what the Riders needed out of the timeout, but now they need scores, and we'll see what they can do. And the ball into the hands of Azania Stewart. Dribble handoff with Winterburn. She's going to fire up the three. Winterburn off to the right. Contested rebound falls into the hands of Tiani Clark, her 12th board of the game. And now Riders with the trap. Carr able to find Clark. Monacana loses the ball off the foot of Rob. And another stop for the Riders. And Winterburn in the corner. Kat Carr able to get in front and take away the three. Now Stewart back to Winterburn on the handoff. Winterburn trying to go through the step through, gets the bump from De Silva and gets it to go. And the Leicester Riders got exactly what they needed, a couple of stops, now the score, and now they're looking to force the issue with a 1-2-1-1 press. Trap coming, and Kat Carr loses the ball out of bounds. A 3 straight turnover. Lapp and Cooper to Holly Winterburn, who certainly looked to have the ball in her hands a lot more since this second time out by Jesper Sundberg, as Hannah Robb's going to fire at the three up and off to the right, but Amber Smith flying in for the rebound, and we have a foul. Foul is on Lavinia De Silva on the catch, so it'll be end-line ball for the Riders. De Silva's third personal foul, first team foul correction on the Suns, and Riders still with just those 2 team fouls, as well as Rob cutting back door. Fires the ball to Holly Winterburn, driving layup, and Amber Smith able to get the putback to go. And this game is still within reach for the Riders 10, and they're back into the trap. Carr able to find Clark, and now the ball down the side to Renee Bush. Holly Winterburn trying to be aggressive, reaching in, and she'll be called for the personal foul. Second personal on Holly Winterburn, and Coach Len Bush will go to the bench. Irene Garrido-Perez, who's been out for a long time, will replace Janice Monacana and sub for the Riders. Brewer, and Amber Smith, who seems to be a little bit banged up, she will check out. Maya Brewer in for the Riders. As Kat Carr into lane, pull-up jump shot, a little bit long, but Lavinia De Silva with a huge offensive rebound, and the Riders desperately needed that as we're into the final 2 minutes. Leicester still trailing by 10. Carr's pull-up doesn't go. Azania Stewart with the defensive board, and Holly Winterburn is going to look to push. Winterburn to a cutting Lapp and Cooper. Contact Winterburn, touch pass, but only into the hands of Lavinia De Silva, and a 2-on-0 fast break. And Garrido Perez driving down the lane, gets the layup to go. Time out, Leicester Riders. Jesper Sundberg with his final time out of the game, and it looked for all the world that Lavinia De Silva was going to back the ball out and run clock, but Garrido Perez, fresh off the bench with those fresh legs, sprinted straight down the middle of the floor, and she was able to lay it home for the uncontested 2. And extended the Suns' lead once again to 12. Garrido Perez up to 7 points personal. And she's been a huge addition to the Suns last year and continuing that form this year. Averaging nearly 9 points a game for Coach Len Bush. And as of right now, it looks like Sevenoaks Suns are going to have one hand on the league title. And an opportunity to wrap it up on Sunday against the Leicester Riders. And a reminder that the other way the Suns can wrap it up, they can still lose in Leicester, but the head-to-head would be enough for the Suns in that situation as well, with Leicester would be slipping to 2 losses. And it'll be the Riders who advance the ball out of the timeout. Trailing by 12 and 95 seconds left. Lappin Cooper on the inbound, looking for the lob to Holly Winterburn. But Holly Winterburn a little bit too close to the basket, so Brewer will fire up the mid-range pull-up, and Kat Carr pulled down the defensive board. She's now up to a double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds for Kat Carr. And Suns looking to kill the clock. Will bring it out rather than attack with numbers in transition. Now Tiani Clark gets into lane, fakes the pass, and blows the layup, however, by Tiani Clark. And Leicester Riders need some scores. Holly Winterburn lost the ball knocked away by Tiani Clark. Riders looking for a foul, but wasn't coming, but able to retain possession as Brewer gets aggressive, and there's a foul. Ironic cheers from around the gym, and Brewer will go to the line for 2. Again, you can see the Riders really trying to cause problems with that press, as Brewer able to get the first to go. And it might be a situation where she might try and even miss the second, because Riders really need scores in a hurry, down 11 still. And the offensive rebound's what she needs. She does miss it, but Hannah Robb unable to pull it in, and it's Kat Carr with the rebound, and she had Hannah Robb locked on her hip, and Robb commits the foul, 4th team foul for the Sevenoaks Suns, 4th personal on Hannah Robb. And the referee just heading over to the scorer's table to check something. Don't quite know what the issue was. Oh, I don't think unless they reset the shot clock may not have started. So they might just be winding down the shot clock a few seconds. Indeed they are. So 21 on the shot clock, and really if the Riders want to win this game, they've got to force an immediate turnover or probably foul. But it would take a March Madness type of miracle now, as Tiani Clark to Kat Carr. She's going to kill a little bit of clock. She's driving, underhand pass to Tiani Clark. She's able to make the layup to go. And that will probably be that if it wasn't already, as Brewer drives Kat Carr with the blocking foul. And Brewer back to the line for a second time in quick succession. And Kat Carr on the floor, a little bit winded, but she's helped up by her teammates. And on the triple-double watch, Kat Carr needs just 1 assist to complete the triple-double, and the Suns will get the ball back, so something to watch on this final possession. Sub coming in for the Riders, Azania Stewart checking out, and Riders will go small here with Katie Joanneska checking back in for the final 33 seconds, and Brewer to the line once again. She's able to make the first. And this time make the second, as Riders again are looking to go full court, really need a steal. Garida Press flashes to the high post. Tiani Clark, and fouled from behind by Lappin Cooper. And again, referees going to be a little bit generous. There's definitely no attempt at the ball. Just a little grab, but Sevenoaks Leicester trying to foul to preserve the clock. And Tiani Clark have a chance to extend her personal tally of 13 points at the line. And Tiani Clark, 2 of 2. So we've got 30 seconds left. Lappin Cooper looking to go aggressive. And again, Tiani Clark this time with the reach in. So Lappin Cooper to the line for 2. Second personal on Tiani Clark. And now Coach Len Bush, with up 13, 25 seconds to go, will go to his bench. Hayley Miller and Zulika Franklin checking in for their first action of the game. As Lappin Cooper to the line makes the first. Side note as well, Kat Carr did pick up a 4th personal in that set. As Lapakova misses the second rebound again by Kat Carr. She's able to split the double, almost triple team. And the Suns, with the shot clock off, will be able to hold for the final shot. But BUSCH finds Miller inside. Hayley Miller rushes the shot. And the ball tipped out of bounds. And Suns will retain possession. Shot clock again off. With 13.6 left on the game clock. And we'll see if the Suns hold it and dribble it out, or will Kat Carr try and get the 1 assist she needs for the triple-double. Looks like she's going to hold the ball. Gives it to Renee BUSCH to avoid the 5 seconds, and that will do it from the Surrey Sports Park. And the Sevenoaks Suns have taken a huge step towards the WBBL title, beating the Leicester Riders 63-51. We will bring you post-game reaction in a minute or two, so stick with us and we'll get the thoughts of Jesper Sundberg and Len BUSCH. Welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park, now joined by Sevenoaks coach Len. Len, 63-51 victory. How delighted are you with the performance this afternoon?
I'm really pleased. It was a phenomenal defensive effort after the first quarter. You know, it's similar to a lot of games that we played. You know, it's a battle. If we go to sleep or we take too many possessions off, then we're in trouble. But today they dug in real deep and they did what we had planned to do. And it came through. It was lovely to watch. I'm happy for the team. They've worked hard and they deserved it.
And obviously you talked about the defence that really started in the second quarter, holding Leicester to 6 points. Just what do you talk about in the timeout towards the end of the first and at the first quarter break to just make those little tweaks that you wanted on the defensive end?
I wish I could remember. You know, we just talked about, you know, we had given them a couple of easy baskets. We'd actually played decent defense in the first quarter, but we gave a couple of backdoor cuts and a couple other silly ones. It's just the players. Like, they stepped up a bit early. Sometimes, you know, they wait a little later in the game to get that intense, but they turned it on early. they knew the caliber of the opponent and that they needed to play well. And they did. So it was a great effort.
And obviously a chance again against Leicester on Sunday to wrap the title up without having to go to Caledonia. I'm sure that's a priority just so you can ease into the playoffs. But just talk about the home form as well. It's now been over 3 years since you've lost a home game. Just wrapped up the home season this year. Just talk about how pleasing it is to continue to find ways to win at home.
Winning is nice. I enjoy it. It's never the goal. They just come when you play well and play together. I mean, at practice last night, there was just so much joy among the players while they're working out. It's like I go there. This is just a great group, and they've got a lot going for them.
And obviously you don't want to look too far ahead, but because you wrapped up the home season, we'll ask you, obviously going into the playoffs, to change to a neutral site, but all games on Sky. How important is that for the league to continue to grow?
Well, it's great for the league. I wish I could focus on that, but I've got to play Leicester again on Sunday, and then I've got to go to Caledonia. So I got to get through that before I can even really think too much about it.
Well, Len, I'll let you go debrief, and best of luck in trying to clinch the regular season on Sunday against Leicester.
Thanks, Michael.
And hopefully, if you just stay with us here at the Surrey Sports Park for 1 minute, we'll get the reaction of JESPER SUNDBERG from the Leicester Riders as well.
Are we off?
And welcome back to the Surrey Sports Park, now joined by Leicester Riders head coach JESPER SUNDBERG. JESPER, just your overall thoughts on the game first of all this afternoon.
No, I think it was a fun playoff type of game, and it was very physical and two teams competing and playing to the best, forcing each other to play to the best of our abilities. And then, yeah, it's a low scoring game, but it's very physical, and that's how we want it to be. And for us, I think we're in a good position. Like, we knew that probably the league is not for us since we made the changes in the roster, and we're just trying to build and keep getting better, and hopefully we get a chance to face Sevenoaks on May 16th, and that's kind of where our mindset is. And today we're trying to learn and get closer to them, and I mean, this is the first time we play them with the new group, and they're the best opponents that we have. So like, it's a good learning experience for us.
And obviously some of the learning will certainly be on reflection. Obviously you still got to play them on Sunday as well as on the offensive end. The 6 points in the second quarter, and then a long scoreless stretch in the fourth that really is where Sevenoaks pulled away. What type of things were going through your mind from an offensive point of view this afternoon?
I mean, it's not, obviously you can say we need to do this, we need to get better at that, but hey, they're a great defensive team, so it's more the result of the offense. Like, us not scoring, okay, that's one thing. But them scoring the back-to-back threes of transition because we get stagnant after offense, that's the problem, and that's what we need to talk about. And then, yeah, we need to make some adjustments. This is the first time, like I said, we play against them, and it's a way different defense to everyone else. So we need to learn about that. But it's more that they scoring off of our offense compared to us not scoring. Obviously, we want to score more, but, if we can't score, then we need to make sure we take away the transition points, and that's the bigger problem.
And then obviously, how nice is it to have this stretch? You talked about the playoffs kind of being a focus, that you've now got another double header coming up with London and Leicester Sevenoaks to play these tough teams, to build momentum going into the playoffs and have that playoff-like atmosphere at the end of the regular season as well.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't know what my team thinks, but I hope they feel the same as me. These are the funnest game of the season. This is the games that we want to play, and we haven't seen Sevenoaks in over 2 months, and before that was over a year. So like, these are the games that we want to play because they force us to compete at our best level, and today we need to learn and get better. But in terms of getting momentum, I don't know if that's better to get momentum by winning big against other teams, if we can do that, but like, we're just trying to build momentum and get better from the first game we had in May 5th with the new group, and we're just taking strides. We lost to Essex, we lost to London, and now we're just trying to get better. And compared to the first meeting to the second meeting as Essex and London, we are getting better, and now we need to keep getting better again to compete with the absolute best teams in the league, and that's the fun of it.
And obviously, Azania Stewart had the strong first half. Just talk about her leadership with this group as well, coming in the mid-season, and how she's adapted to coming out of retirement for you.
Just coming out of retirement, I'm really impressed of like how quickly she actually get into game shape of playing heavy minutes. Like that's really impressive. Same thing with Amber. Obviously she played this year, but it's still a long time, and that's something, like I said, we try to keep and build and get better as a team, and also as individually in physical aspect. But it just gives us a different dimension, and obviously it's not rocket science to see how we played before with Sarah, Christina, Whitney and Kate. We were up tempo, and now obviously with the new group we have to be a little bit more slow pace. So like that's the biggest adjustment to a player like C coming in, but also bringing 2 more players in that we kind of have to adjust, and also credit to the rest of the players that was there before to kind of change that mindset and keep going and getting better at actually slowing it down and trying to be good at.
Well, Jesper, we'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time, and best of luck down the end of the regular season and for the playoffs.
Thank you, Mikey.
And that will wrap up coverage here at Surrey Sports Park for the season. Sevenoaks finish on the road on Sunday against the Leicester Riders and then Caledonia. So that will do it here from the Surrey Sports Park for the season. Thank you for following along, and make sure you subscribe to WBBL to follow the games, as there are more games this afternoon and the rest of the regular season.